Howdy Earthlings, I'm a dinosaur today, but you know the deal. Here's yet another 5 more games featuring furries. In these videos, I make sure to recommend at least one single player game, one co-op or multiplayer, one free option, and one Gooner game at the very end. I also do a content warning before the Gooner game so that you can easily skip it if you're not interested in that, but if you're here for the Gooner game, it's at the very end. Anyway, make sure to stick around for that if you want to see it. Scaly representation. Amber Isle. Earrings? Where will I wear them? Of course, on the side of my head. The reason I'm a dinosaur today. This is one I played on stream earlier this year. The elevator pitch is that it's Animal Crossing, but with dinosaurs, and you get to make your own dinosaur character. The character creator is robust, and the cast of friendly dinos is wide and varied too. The problem comes from the gameplay loop. Like Animal Crossing, you can spend each day talking to your dino friends and improving your relationships with them, but the main gameplay is a shop management sim. You'll harvest materials and craft items, then sell those items in your shop. You'll build relationships with the dinos by offering them good deals, and you'll use your money to further develop the island and improve your customer base. I don't know why it's your job as the shopkeeper to improve the status of the island. Sounds like something the government should be doing, but the mayor sucks in this game. You'll add new amenities, decorate, design, and install a socialist utopia. I don't know if that last one is true, but I certainly tried my best. Anyway, the daily loop of going and getting materials and running a shop gets boring pretty dang fast. The problem is the shop portion, which is a significant portion of the game, and it's boring. You'll open the shop and stand still, waiting for their disgusting paws to make a mess. Then you'll clean it. Then you'll quickly run back to your counter to wheel and deal, but you'll always end up taking their price or lower because they're pretty miserly. They don't like paying full price for things. And if you make them pay full price for things, you don't build their relationship. Then the other major portion of the game isn't great either. You'll run out into the fields and hit trees, rocks, dig, and the like. This loop is short, but very repetitive. Since a day can be as short as you like, you'll be doing this collection chore every 15 minutes. But if you can stick with it, the game is incredibly cute and has one of the best persona makers around if you're a dino. Scaly is the only option. Divinity 2, Original Sin. This one is a tactical RPG that is also co-op. It's kind of like playing Dungeons & Dragons, but a video game, and you don't need a DM. There aren't a ton of furries. In fact, there's only one furry race, and it's the lizard people, and thankfully, they're a pretty fun race to play. Lizard people get fire resistance and poison resistance, a point in persuasion, and 2 abilities. They're able to breathe a cone of fire that leaves flames behind, and the way elements work in this game, it can be set up to make a few combos. If you use abilities that leave poison clouds behind, you can breathe fire and make the gas explode. If you're tired of water being on the ground, you can breathe fire where the water is and it'll cause it to evaporate. Their second ability is Dome of Protection, and that restores your magic and physical shields and increases ally elemental resistance. They work well as any class, but when paired with Hydrosophist, the water class, or Geomancer, the earth class, poison class really, they can be a lot of fun. If that isn't your thing, there are undead versions that heal from poison rather than healing from normal means, which means the Geomancer class is an even better fit for them. They still get the resistances, they can play dead, and still get Dome of Protection. Should you be playing with non-furry friends, they'll have fun with the other races like humans, elves, and dwarves. The combat is deep and robust, but still fast-paced, and the mechanics are very deep as well. We never get very far in this game because there's so much to do that we get sidetracked doing everything else. The modding community is also pretty robust, so I'm pretty sure you could find more furry races if you wanted to. The Gimmick Gamer, Uncle Chop's Rocket Shop. Imagine Cooking Mama, with all the gimmicks and such, but you're repairing spaceships. It also has a bit of keep talking and nobody explodes, but solo. You'll be repairing ships with procedurally generated modules that all have specific forms of input to complete them. You'll be hosing off interiors, replacing batteries, defusing bombs, and even playing a video game within a video game to fix the video game spaceship, all while dying horrific deaths as a silly fox-headed alien feller. It's fast-paced, stressful, frenetic, and fun. And if you're a streamer, I super recommend this game. This game is 100% built for streamers because of the style of play and how things can go wrong in an instant. Free, but it really shouldn't be, the Wear Cleaner. This is your free option. In Wear Cleaner, you play a guy who has a bad case of needing to pay rent, relatable, but also a bad case of lycanthropy, less relatable. So it's a little difficult for you to hold down a job. So you notice a job for being a cleaner for an office building. The first day is easy. You go in and you use your pressure washer to blast away stains. But then the next day comes and everyone's forced to work night shift, including you. You turn into a werewolf at night though, and as soon as you see humans, the bloodlust takes over you, and you go into a murderous rampage, eating any human in sight. Now you have to clean messes stealthily, or risk having to clean up bigger and harder to hide messes like human bodies. Gosh, I wish a werewolf would tear me limb from limb. The next game is the Gooner game, and it's very adult, so if you don't want to hear that, watch a different video, I guess, but listen to the Patreon read real quick first. But real quick, let's thank the patrons before moving on to the Gooner game. Thanks to the patrons, members, and supers, my streams are ad-free on YouTube, but you can also watch me on twitch.tv/Sera's Things, since I stream to both platforms at the same time. You can support me and these videos by becoming a member or by joining the Patreon on patreon.com/Sera's Things. Thanks again to Firework Penguin, Momentary Unicorn, Aurora the Puppy Moth, Sly, Nat, Selena, Marius, Yeenie, Worm Syrup, Rask, Ver, Beeve, Bait, Sly Again, Colorado Blue, Vader Sun, Linky, Fasoku, Linky Again, Splackjack, and Malding Prick. Now, for the Hole Dwellers. Hole Dweller. The first thing you're going to notice about this game is that the pixel art, especially that of the faces, is a little jank looking. A lot of the furry characters aren't exactly attractive. Most look like they got in a fight with a weed whacker. Also, the sex options are male, fuda, and female. As far as I can tell, fuda is only used in the beginning, so if you're a trans person with an issue with that terminology, no, it's really only in the beginning and in a couple of menus. Also, I can't show you anything but the drilling game. The other stuff is just way too lewd. In Hole Dweller, you run a drilling machine with a super advanced computer. If you enable tutorials, the game doesn't tell you how to play, except for very specific instances, and it doesn't really give you the full context of the information teaching you how to play. It kind of assumes that you know how to play a game like this, but I've never played another game like this. Like, I spent the first in-game 2 weeks playing the sex minigames because I couldn't figure out how to drill. What you do is, on the cabin, you right-click and there's a shop menu. Then you click the drill at the top left to drill. Again, the tutorial doesn't tell you how to play, so you don't know what any of the blocks do, besides the most obvious ones like the TNT block or the XP block. You dig down automatically, and then you dig left or right using left-click and right-click. The game is played one-handed, which is pretty ambitious considering the butterface of some of your teammates. Pretty much every square that doesn't hurt you gives you something in exchange. Resources, stat-ups, experience, and combat. Combat is turn-based RPG, but uses an active time battle system like the more recent Final Fantasies. Your characters will act, then they need to refill their meter. Your character can capture any enemy monsters, Pokemon style. Your team consists of furries you encounter while traveling, and as for the sex gameplay, each character has 5 stats: Love, Tech, Heat, Perv, and Max HP. Love is increased through interactions with your party using things like kissing or sex. Raising it unlocks more sex positions, and they can be different positions depending on the character or the perv stat. Tech increases damage in combat and sexual performance. Heat increases the character's sex minigame speed and their fertility. Getting this too high can make minigames harder. Anyway, Perv unlocks more sex position options, and Max HP is their HP for combat, and I think it works like stamina, but in terms of the sex part of the game. Sex acts with the characters are a little unappealing since it's in pixel art, and the characters' dimensions are too small to appreciate, unlike Flipwitch where they use very big sprites for the sex scenes. But the voice acting is pretty good. Sex minigames are also done via Tony Hawk Pro Skater grind balance minigame, which is hilarious and makes it hard to focus on the animations. So you can click mouse wheel to stop the balance bar and watch the animation. Each minigame has mastery stars too, and the minigames, if played perfectly, take 2 minutes to complete, which is way too long. Not because that's longer than you can last in real life, but because that's way too long to be playing the Tony Hawk balance minigame. Mastering sex positions is kind of important though, as it increases max HP and adds tech, making them more effective in combat. Lastly, if you don't like your character's appearances, there are free items in the game shop to adjust breast, butt, belly, and dong size, change their genders, or whether they're a furry, their color, and other stuff. All of this stuff can unlock new sex positions too. So you can unlock frauding for a character that doesn't have a dick, and you'll only be able to access frauding if you give her the eggplant thing, which gives her a dick. The proportions get truly ridiculous on everything, really. I haven't played long, so I don't know if there's male characters, but you can use these items to make them look more masculine. Talked a little too long about Hole Dweller, almost a review. Could have called this Hole Dweller plus some other videos. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm going to go put paper bags on the heads of the Hole Dweller furries.